Hello everyone, my name is Bacon and this is the CA Lorraine, a self-propelled gun based on the same chassis as the Lorraine 40T. Now this vehicle is at tier 4 with a BR of 6.3 and luckily for us the CA does not quite have the repair cost of the 40T. It is considerably cheaper to repair, which certainly helps when you're trying to spade it. So although having a much lower repair cost, it does in fact still share many of the positives from the 40T. Firstly, the gun, a 100mm SA-47 L58 cannon. You have options for either APC-BC shells or HE rounds. Not a huge amount of variety, although the APC-BCs in particular do get the job done. Just under 300mm pen, they will pen most things frontally that you face. Does have issues with some things such as Tiger 2s, but other than that, it will be able to take out most things with relative ease. So of course, another thing, it being an SPG, the lack of a turret, much lower profile. This really is very useful when you're camping or flanking the enemy, so generally very useful for most situations you will probably find yourself in. Another thing, the mobility, good mobility, same engine, power plant, same sort of suspension systems as the 40T, while it is quite a considerable amount lighter. So top speed of just below 40 miles an hour and decent turning both on the move and while sort of sitting still. So very interesting stuff there, good mobility, good firepower, and a good low profile that really helps when you're trying to be sneaky. So some cons of the vehicle. First off, the armor, generally quite weak. Of course, the frontal section is angled, so it does present the chance that you might ricochet some shells, although I would not count on that. Most of the time you'll be quite easily penned and then killed, so I would say try and stay hidden. That would generally be a good plan of action with this vehicle. Another con, just really a gripe that I have with most SPGs as a whole, is the fact that if either your driver, track, transmission or engine are taken out, you're dead in the water. You're just sitting there, you probably won't be able to shoot the enemy unless they're directly in front of you effectively. So generally if you get any of those parts of the vehicle damaged or knocked out, it is likely you will be very easily killed in a very short span of time. So just generally, not the Lorraine in particular, but just SPGs as a whole, a little gripe I have, but certainly not a deal breaker for the Lorraine. So with that all said, let's go jump into some gameplay. I'm going to show off two games, one of which I get 7 kills, the other I believe is 6 kills, both from the first 10 games I did in this vehicle. So let's go take a look. So this game is on the map Eastern Europe, and I start off by flanking around to get a nice little camping spot adjacent to the A point. I do see an enemy aircraft coming in quite early on, so I decide to take a position where I'm sort of hiding with some cover of some trees, so hopefully it's a bit more tricky for the aircraft to see me. First kill, Centurion Mark 1. Get a nice shot, he doesn't know I'm here, so I sort of fire one into the side. The APC-BC does its job, ammo rack goes up, and then it's bye-bye Centurion. I duck back just to try and get some cover. I think with SPGs, once you've taken a shot, it is a good sort of tactic to try and duck down just below the top of the hill just to get some more cover. T-32 there, hit the turret, knock out the track. He can't shoot, he can't move. I think he just jays out. He knows he's going to die, so giving me my second kill. After that, I decide to change position. I feel when you're in a fairly lightly armoured vehicle in a camping spot, don't just stay in the exact same spot because 1, revenge kills, and 2, you might just eventually be spotted or something like that. So it is a good idea to sort of move around a little bit every so often. I see another enemy tank down in the town. I decide to try and take a snipe, so I get into position, get aimed up. He is moving a little bit, which makes it a tad tricky, but I fire off, and there we go. It was yet another Centurion. Ammunition went up. It hit one of the rounds in the turret. He went bang bang, giving me my 3rd kill of the game. Now I really do begin to rush. I sort of push towards the A point. I know there's an enemy tank here. I can see the 50 cal on top, and it looks to be, what is that, an M26? Oh, when I oof the first shot, we have a fair reload. It's about 12 seconds for me currently. I think the stock's around 14 seconds, so I kind of oofed that shot. Obviously, I didn't wait for the gun to properly stabilize out, and he runs off. Now, if you looked at him, you would know that his gun is damaged, so I take out this tank first. It's an FV 4202. Nice little British tier 4 tank there. We also have a T95 and a Crusader AA. So I move back a little bit. I don't want to get too close, especially considering the T95 is there. And just before he runs away, I take out the M26 Pershing. He is now out of the battlefield. Now I do of course know that the Crusader AA is over there, so I am just waiting. I use the binoculars to get a good sort of aim on him. Once the gun is stabilized, fire that shot off, and yep, there we go, critical hit. Commander loader out. He can still shoot at me, although he cannot now reload, and, you know, what does the commander actually do anyway? But at least he doesn't have any more crew members to replace these sort of major roles with. Now there's another AA, looks to be another Crusader AA, yep, Crusader AA Mark 1. Single shot to him, knocked out the turret effectively, giving me another kill. And now it's just a case of trying to find more people to kill. So I decided to push forward. I know that the Crusader is probably still in the same place, and yeah. And oof, there we go. A nice little yeet shot there. The gun wasn't really stable, it was bouncing up and down. But that's more or less it there. That is the end of that game for me. Hoey Production took me out. He came over the brim of the hill, obviously saw me there, out in the open. All it took was a single shot to the side to knock out the fairly closely packed crew in my tank. But nonetheless, a very good first game there. So for the second game, we jump over to Stalingrad. In this game, we have the standard ABC capture point layout, and my tactic was to go near the B point and hide inside one of the abandoned buildings, taking up a camping spot. Now, I sort of sat on this hill, just peeking over the edge, and if I needed to, I would reverse back and use the binoculars to effectively see, although at the start, I just used the standard gun aim. So as you can see, first shot, Su-100Y knocks out the commander, the cannon breach, and the vertical cannon drive, and, you know, unfortunately, I don't really see him anymore in this game. I do not get the kill, although it's likely that he drove off and hid somewhere to repair. So after sitting for a bit longer, I see something else moving behind the trains, get aimed up, and it's an IS-6, so I fire, shot to the side, goes in, knocks out the crew, giving me my first kill of the game. It's really a side shot on an IS-6. It has got fairly substantial armor, although really for the APC-BC round on this bad boy, it is absolutely nothing. It goes straight through and knocks out that crew. So after that, I sort of sat here for a fair bit more, get a few more kills. It was a fairly lucrative spot here, just to sit, grab some more kills. Next up, I see another enemy tank moving behind those train cars. So I move up, get in position, and ooh, it's a little ASU, not an ASU-57, I believe it's an ASU-85. Just sort of a development of that concept of a small light tank destroyer. But then again, I take him out, and you know, the armor on that thing, I think the APC-BC round is certainly up to the job. So next up, I see something just off in the distance behind the train cars, so I use binoculars to get a rough lock on him, then I fire off a shot, and boom, it was an IS-2, straight into the turret, again, knocks out the crew, and that is my third kill of the game. So after that, I reverse back. I do spend some time just using the binoculars to peek around, make sure the sort of coast is clear, and after that, I do then move out. I push past the A point, which by the time I get there had been capped, and I help some friendlies kill an IS-3. So I take him out, shot to sort of the back of the turret, goes in, knocks out the remaining crew members, giving me my fourth kill of the game. After that, I then continue to move on and try and push, not quite all the way up to the enemy spawn, but at least to try and prevent them from getting to the captured zones. Now at this point in the game, we have captured all 3 bases, so it really is just a case of attempting to stop the enemy pushing back. Because of course, if you get too close to the spawn, it's likely a lot of your team could get knocked out while spawn camping, and then generally the enemy would be able to push back. On the other hand, if you stay just out of the spawn, the sort of spawn protection isn't really an issue, and you can knock them out quite effectively. So what I do is I move along, see 2 little SPAs over there, so I get aimed, and just as I'm about to fire, I actually fire the gun, and they get blown up. So I fire, and yeah, they're dead. And it was an F6F Hellcat, obviously firing tiny Tims, big, massive rockets, knocked them both out, giving him 2 kills. So GG to him on taking them out. Now this is a scary situation, what's about to happen. I'm driving along, moving towards the spawn, and as I come around this sort of pile of rubble, I see something that scares me. Yeah, that's an IS-3. So what I do is I get in position, he doesn't quite know I'm here, and I hit the pike nose on the front of the chassis, and it does nothing. I do not pen. He now knows where I am. So I'm just stuck here thinking, oh god, there's an IS-3 coming towards me, what do I do? And he can likely see me, so there's not really any escaping this. So I sort of get back, try to stay out of his vision, but also try and keep an eye on him. I don't want him sneaking behind me. That would be very unfortunate. So I do keep an eye on him. He's currently stopped, but now he begins to move towards me. He likely knows at this point roughly where I am, at least. So I begin to aim up, hoping that he will try to push out, and he does just what I want. He pushes straight through and tries to shoot me. I knock out the cannon barrel and the cannon breech. He can't really do anything now, so all that I do now is push him. It is fairly dangerous to do this, considering how, you know, another enemy tank could be pushing in my direction, but luckily no one does, and I get a shot into the side of the upper frontal plate, going straight through and blowing up his ammunition, giving me another kill. Second kill this game, in fact, on an IS-3. So now I begin to move along, trying to push towards the spawn, and out the corner of my eye, I see something. Is that a tank moving towards B over there in the distance? I think it is. So I reverse up, swivel that tank around, get on, and oh, it's an IS-2. So a nice shot to the back of the turret there, giving me yet another kill there. I believe that is now a 6-kill game, if I'm not incorrect. Now this just demonstrates that little gripe I had with SPGs. My track's been knocked out, and I only just cannot shoot the enemy tank. I can't do anything about it, and eventually he does then just kill me. So unfortunately that was a bit annoying. I was effectively immobilized, couldn't do anything about it, and yeah, I then died, which was very unfortunate. But anyway, 6-kill game, got a kill assist on that Su-100Y, certainly not too bad. So the CA Lorraine, what is it? Is it good? Is it bad? What are my final thoughts after my initial sort of set of games on this vehicle? Well, it is a fun vehicle, the repair cost being way lower than sort of the average repair cost of a tier 4 French tank is very nice, makes it fairly easy to spade, and most games, even if you do absolutely crap, are not going to lose you that many silver lions, which is definitely good. Generally, the mobility is nice, the gun's very nice, the lack of armor is a tad annoying, and the little gripe I have with SPGs where if you're hit anywhere in the drive system you just can't do anything, that's a tad annoying as well. But it is a very fun vehicle, and the fact that in a down tier game and an up tier game your shell will effectively pen everything you face, and it's only really in up tiers where you can have little issues, I really do like that. It makes it very fun to play. So to anyone who is a fan of French tanks, or anyone who is now frantically grinding out the French tree after the announcement of the Leclerc or anything else, do feel free to give this thing a go. That's what I was doing. I was grinding out a French tree, and I thought, you know what, it's got a low repair cost, let's give it a go, see if we can have some fun, and it really was quite fun. So I certainly would advise to anyone who is a fan of French tanks, try this vehicle out. It is incredibly fun. Anyway though, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, please consider smashing the like button, maybe even subscribe to the channel if you have not already. That would be massively appreciated. Finally, massive thanks to my Patreons. You guys really do help with the keeping the motivation on, so thank you very much to all of you. And that is pretty much it. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.